Hope you guys are doing well. I haven't made a video in a little minute because I've low-key been undisciplined, I can't lie, but and get back on it. And one thing that I feel like I've really kind of struggled with is my discipline, and that's why I'm kind of making this video, to remind myself, but also to teach you guys why discipline is important. But Hebrews 12 verse 11 says that no discipline at the time seems pleasant, but later produces a harvest of righteousness and peace. I think that's what it says at the end there. But the whole point of it being that in the moment, discipline doesn't seem fun. In this context, it's talking about discipline from God, like correction from God. But later, correction from God leads to righteousness and harvest, a harvest of righteousness and peace. I think that's so true. But I also think that this could be applied to self-discipline as well. I think there's a huge distinction from God's discipline, the way that he corrects us and disciplines us, and the way that we need to correct ourselves. And self-discipline really kind of is just like self-correction. Wanting to do something, wanting to be comfortable and not do what you need to do, but doing it anyway. That's pretty much just what correction really is. You want to go somewhere, but you go the other way, like in a car, you course correct, you go a different way. But self-discipline is the same. And I feel like recently I've been kind of struggling with this, but I'm not here to talk about my struggles. I'm here to teach. And I think this is super important because, I don't want to do a lot of things. Like today, I didn't want to go to the gym. I went anyway. I felt hungry. I was kind of thirsty. I don't want to drink tap water, so I've been kind of getting all my water from the store, which isn't really better because it's in plastic, but whatever. I didn't want to do it. This is the point. And I did it anyway. And with a lot of things, that's really just how we have to look at them. It's not always going to be very comfortable to do them. And most things actually, most of the time, aren't going to feel comfortable when we do them. But if we want to get better, like for me, if I want to be an awesome Christian, if I want to be an awesome bodybuilder, an awesome teacher, then there's just things that I simply have to do. And I'm not going to feel like doing them sometimes, but the result is much greater than the feeling in the moment. And that's what Hebrews 12:11 really says to me. And that's really what I want to strive for, and what I want you guys to strive for as well, is that just realizing that it's not always going to feel good. It's not always going to feel fun. And it's amazing because that's a muscle you can train. It's a muscle that you can train to work better. The easier, or the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and vice versa. The more comfort you indulge in all the time, the more pleasure you indulge in, the easier it is to do that, and the harder it is to get your brain to be disciplined. And vice versa, like I said, the easier it'll become when you're more disciplined, even if it is that small little step of taking out the trash, or cleaning your desk, or vacuuming, or doing your clothes, your laundry. Those things really do add up. And it really is true that a tree falls the way it leans. It's gonna be easier to go this way when you've already been going that way. And it's much harder to stand back up when you haven't done that. And so, yeah, discipline sucks, but I've been going to the gym now for coming up on 4 years now. And to be honest, it hasn't really gotten a bunch easier. It hasn't gotten really easier to go to the gym, but I've gotten stronger. I've gotten more disciplined in that area. And that's really just how it has to be. It's not going to get easier. There's still going to be days where you're not gonna want to go to the gym, or there's gonna be days where I don't want to record a video. There's gonna be days where I'm not gonna want to wake up early, where I'm gonna want to go back to sleep. There's gonna be days where I'm not gonna want to read my Bible and go pray. There's gonna be days where I'm not gonna want to meditate, journal, and do that. But discipline is seeing that and not going by emotion, not going by feeling in the moment, because feelings change, you know? Feelings will always change. Excuse me, feelings will always change. But discipline doesn't. Discipline is the same. It's doing something no matter how you feel. And discipline is not going to the gym when you're motivated, when you want to. Discipline is doing it when you don't want to. And so it really is a muscle you can train. And I think it's super important to realize that, you know, that your discipline muscle may be strong, but the more you do it, like, you don't go into the gym instantly if you've never been to the gym and start repping out 315. And in the same way, we can't just start waking up at 4 or whatever, like doing all these things immediately. There is a ramp up that has to happen, and it will be humbling. Like, you will kind of feel like this is above me, but that's really how it is. Like, in the gym, you'll feel like those light weights maybe are above you, but that's how you get stronger, you know, or below you, I mean, sorry. But yeah, I just wanted to speak about discipline today, and how important it is and how much we need it, especially if you are an ambitious man like myself. I hate saying that, like, oh, like, I'm so ambitious and stuff, but I do think that I am more of a, I don't know, like a dreamer type person. Like, I like to make huge plans and do all these things, but sometimes it's hard for me to actually actually enact on them. I don't know why I said indulge, but so this is a good lesson to myself as well, just to remind myself that it's not always going to be difficult, and it simply just is a muscle you can train. It's something that you can get better at over time, but it is going to suck, you know? Like, the 315 weight on the bar never gets heavier. You just get stronger, you know? And so that's a little bit about what I think about discipline and how it goes back to the Bible. I know this video wasn't super Bible based, super spiritual, but I feel like this is not only a biblical truth, but also just a reality. Like, I'm sure the freaking cavemen didn't want to go and hunt the deer for 8 hours straight, but they did anyway because they had to survive, you know? And so, yeah, I don't know, that's kind of how I think about it. I'm currently walking in the rain right now. It's kind of cold, my hands are getting cold. That's why I'm kind of switching hands, and because my arm's kind of getting tired, but yeah, I'm kind of happy I made this video. Even see, like, right now, like, I didn't want to make it, but now I've done it, and I feel better. I feel more peaceful, and my discipline muscle is more trained because of that. Another thing, actually, there's a muscle. I know I keep talking, but this is my video, so I'll keep talking. There's a muscle in the brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex or something, the AMC, and that is correlated. That is like your willpower kind of discipline muscle. You can look it up. It's crazy. It's a super cool muscle. It's one of my favorite to kind of talk about. But that one will actually grow the more you do hard stuff, and it shrinks the more you avoid hard stuff, the more you're undisciplined. And so with, like, obese people, it's a lot smaller, but with people that are, like, in the gym a lot, that are more disciplined, it's bigger. And so this literally is like a muscle you can train, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And so be disciplined today. I hope you guys got something from this video. I know it wasn't very structured, but I did want to talk a little bit about this because I think it's super important. But other than that, you guys, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys have a good day. Whatever you're going through, whatever you feel like you can't get over, everything will pass. You know, life isn't lived in one season, but multiple. Just like the earth, it's not always going to be rainy. The trees aren't always going to be green. The sky always isn't going to be gray. You will get through it. You will get past it. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Yeah, see you guys.